In the red corner from Catskill, New York, representing region number 1, 15-year-old Mike Tyson.
Feast your eyes on what is now known as the very first fight film in Mike Tyson's career. At just 15 years old, with a record of 5 wins and 0 defeats, he'd already made a big enough impact to have his regional championship bout featured on ESPN.
Some earlier blows were more telling.
大家好，老师从业中医男科30余年，帮助了数千名海内外华人朋友通过中药调理重回男性雄风。如果你也存在房事时间短、勃起无力、硬度差、中途疲软、肾虚、前列腺炎等问题，现在就加中医老师微信574-993-200，纯中药，一人一方，治根治本，帮助你持续坚挺20至40分钟，补肾壮阳，延时助勃，彻底告别快男软男。记住微信574-993-200。
Just 17. How good is he going to become?
I think he's going to be heavyweight champion of the world.
Dips under, throws his left hook. That's a nice move.
But I had such an intense tunnel vision.
Your opponent's side, big punch.
All of you come get some. Mike Tyson's out here. He's waiting for you. All come get some.
Welcome back to Amazing Speed here on Boxing Legends TV, the series where we thoroughly break down a fighter's career, extracting highlights from the most key assets of their skill sets.
I just can't help it who you are. You have to go down because it's a law when Mike Tyson hits you.
Tyson, of course, will forever be cemented in the Highlight Reel Hall of Fame for his impeccable offensive style that battered, bruised, and in some cases disfigured leading contenders of his day.
That jaw might be broken.
However, today's video will be focused exclusively on his breathtaking peekaboo style of defense. An art form that has gradually perished over the last 20 years or so, despite the fact that with the right tweaks to accompany the modern game, it's, in my opinion anyway, the greatest form of attack and defense for any boxer standing shorter than the average in their division.
Mike has an ability to slip punches that has not been seen in the heavyweight ranks or almost any other ranks since Muhammad Ali.
We've cut down, in total, well over 100 films to produce this video. A time-consuming piece, to put it lightly. So as always, we'd appreciate a like if you enjoyed it. And for anyone new to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button to help us close in on the big 1 million mark.
I'm Mike Tyson, and there's no one like me.
Word to Mike Tyson, hit you quick like lightning. Swing my left jab first, and then come in with the right. Full deck ya.
Mike Tyson is the only heavyweight out there who says, I can lick any man in the house, and is willing to back it up.
Once I'm in the ring, I'm a god. No one can beat me.
Tyson always moving his head, slipping punches, working his way into land his own paralyzing combination that have electrified the boxing world.
As anybody can see, I'm almost a master at invading the punches coming at me. If anybody saw all of my fights, I don't get hit. I yet to have a bloody nose. I never had marks on my face. Exactly the opposite.
He 220 pounds, but moved like a 160-pound guy. Like, you couldn't believe it at the time. There'd never been a heavyweight like him before.
Backs go to bat for 50 other niggas on the other side of the map. Do what's all good and all done. What we want, son? Mike Tyson of this rap shit, pulling out max for fun.
It covers your chin there, right? It frees this hand up to punch as well. So watch, ready? Yeah? Yeah. You've seen Mayweather do it, and if you watch the old fighters, like in the 1950s fighters, like you watch Archie Moore, they do the shoulder rolls, you know what I mean? They did it back then as well? Yeah, they do all that.
For me, that clip was extremely revealing on 2 separate things. The first being Tony Sims. Anthony Joshua's first trainer in the pros, was a knowledgeable man and had the right intentions to give advice to a young and thirsty prospect in AJ, who only had a handful of fights at the time. The other, and slightly more concerning sign, is AJ not realizing that the shoulder roll was used pre-1960, especially by a boxer like Archie Moore, who famously used the style to achieve unprecedented feats, such as a hard knockdown on the legendary Rocky Marciano. AJ gets a pass considering he didn't start boxing until he was 18 years old, but I'm a firm believer that being a student of the sport's history is pivotal in truly understanding technique. Something, as I'm sure many of you are aware, Tyson did religiously in between knocking guys out.
Tyson is a student of his sport. He works hard on techniques to improve himself.
By the age of 13, Tyson had become fascinated with the sport's history. He now lived with his full-time coach, Gus D'Amato, and had the freedom to explore and research his large array of fight films.
It's the second time these two men have fought. In their first fight, November 25th, 1938, at Madison Square Garden.
Jack Dempsey, Joe Louis, and Roberto Duran were Tyson's favorites to study, but he didn't brush aside some of the lesser-known fights, often fact-checking Gus, around the dining table.
Boy, maybe I go shopping
This week?
next week.
Oh, you mean while you're down there?
Yeah.
Oh.
What clothes? Huh? What clothes, souvenirs? How about some cowboy boots? Cowboy hat.
Cowboy boots?
Big cowboy hat. Cowboy hat.
It's hard for me to try and emphasize just how close the relationship was between Gus D'Amato and Mike Tyson. Gus dragged him from the dirt and polished him up. Tyson admired him, loved him like a true father, and would even copy his pattern of speech and use long words that he had little to no meaning of just to impress him.
I'm the master of the pinpoint. My shots are so accurate and so precise, not to be egotistic, but when they land, they're so precise, I just can't help it who you are. You have to go down, because there's a law when Mike Tyson hits you.
The love back from Gus was clear for everyone to see. He'd let Mike get away with some inexcusable wrongdoings, but would always forgive and try to direct him on a more positive path.
Let's go back a few years, maybe about 5 years, to the age of 14. You had a few problems as a kid, and you found a man by the name of Gus D'Amato, and you found a sport called boxing. The combination of the two, what has it done for you?
Oh, achieved my character, personality, 400, 500% as a human being, besides the boxing aspect. Right now, I could quit boxing now and practically go into any kind of business, and I'll be successful just as well as I was in boxing.
And boxing did all that for you, and Gus D'Amato, huh?
Yes, sir.
Smoke on the mic like smoking Joe Frazier, the Hellraiser, raising hell with the flavor, terrorize the jam like troops in Pakistan, swinging through your town like your neighborhood Spider-Man. So
my mission is to go and destroy, and not to let anything get involved. You get punched, you get hurt. I refuse to be hurt, knocked down, and knocked out. I can't lose. I refuse to lose.
And here's this guy walking around with these black trunks and black shoes, and looking like, something who had emerged out of the primordial ooze.
Although he's very aggressive, Tyson prides himself on also being a good defensive fighter.
he teases rapidly. This balance is astonishing. His feet are taken.
Show me what heavyweight. Those punches and back. A lot of fighters find it difficult to set Mike Tyson up because Mike now gives a lot of head movement.
And he put it all there.
Graphic, trying to make dough like Jurassic. Parked in, pick the spark kids who start shit. See me, only me, the underboss of this Holocaust. Truly yours, Frank White.
It was sad to see Tyson's career end the way it did. The once controlled anger under the right watchful eyes turned morbid and unprofessional.
Oh my goodness, he's got a bloody right ear. Holyfield bit by a dirty Mike Tyson.
Whether Rooney could have controlled him as the years went by is a question still asked by many fans today. I'm personally not so sure, but one thing that's for certain, they built a hell of a fighting machine for the 6 to 7 years that they spent together.
Plus, he's always talking to me about the situation. He was saying, you know, if you really took a deep interest in it, you would be champ of the world. And he would say, with no problem, you'll be champ. He was saying, you're just too good for these guys. Even at 14, he's saying, you know, they know more, but you're just too good. I said, really? And I didn't believe him at first, but he just kept pounding that information in me. And by the time I was 14, I began to believe it.
Thanks for watching, fight fans. We hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, this is Boxing Legends TV, signing off.